In the midst of a brisk January morning, Washington, D.C. was buzzing with both anticipation and apprehension. The streets were lined with supporters waving Trump flags, their faces lit up with the hope of what the next 4 years might bring. At the same time, pockets of protesters voiced their concerns, their signs colorful against the gray city backdrop. Inside the grand halls of the White House, Stephen Miller, Trump's incoming Deputy Chief of Staff of Policy, was busy organizing the flurry of executive orders that would signify the start of what Republicans called a shock and awe campaign. These orders aimed to roll back many of President Biden's policies. Senator John Barrasso of Wyoming, who had been granted a glimpse into the president-elect's plans, spoke to reporters with a glint in his eye. This administration is set to deliver rapid change, driven by the mandate of the American voters, he proclaimed. As the nation prepared for Trump's inauguration as the 47th president, discussions in political circles were heated. What was certain was that Trump intended to make good on his campaign promises immediately. By leveraging a broad interpretation of executive authority, Trump planned to institute over 100 executive actions within days. The orders touched on contentious issues like immigration, security, and energy production. Trump's vision for a secure southern border meant mass deportations and a swift resumption of the border wall's construction, drawing sharp criticism from Democrats and advocacy groups. For Texas-based Maria Gomez, who had lived in the U.S. undocumented for over a decade, Trump's executive promises were a source of anxiety. "I worry every day," she confided, "about being torn from my family." Meanwhile, the economic stage was set for upheaval. Trump's tariffs on imports from Canada, Mexico, and China were to take effect immediately, signaling a dramatic reshuffling of the trade landscape. The move was intended to bolster American manufacturing but faced skepticism from economists. Energy policies were also on the chopping block. The drill, baby, drill agenda was a clear departure from the green initiatives of the previous administration. These policies aimed to boost domestic energy at any cost, even if it meant opening protected lands for drilling. As part of an effort to modernize and consolidate energy policy, Trump announced the formation of a National Energy Council, spearheaded by former North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum. Under his leadership, the council's role would be to streamline U.S. energy production. The day-to-day lives of transgender Americans were under threat as well, with policies to reverse military inclusivity and school participation rights raising alarms among civil rights advocates. As the clock ticked closer to noon, when Trump would officially take the oath of office, a hush fell over the crowd in front of the Capitol. The nation stood at a crossroad, faced with a flurry of changes that would define the next chapter of America's story. From the other side of the political spectrum, voices were equally animated in opposition. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez passionately addressed crowds in New York. "These decisions affect real lives and will stand in resolute opposition to injustice."